really important because people, one of the things that is important to people sometimes is they want to put their cats behind them.
Yeah.
And the dragon boating is like a new experience and a fresh start and so on. But for the person who's shy or apprehensive about it, it would definitely be to make that call. At the moment, that lady's name is Jane. And Jane would be absolutely delighted to have a chat with them. And it is this body system, as I said to you, this is probably one of the best things we can offer.
Yeah.
And or even if they only join us for a cup of tea at the end of a session,
yeah,
and meet some people before they would come down to even go near the water, or come down and see it the first time but not go on the boat.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, most people, and so it's whatever they feel comfortable with, because our aim is to enable as many people as possible to enjoy it. Make people feel comfortable. Once they're on the boat, the idea is that they get fitter, they enjoy it, and we try and work to everybody's pace. We're also very concerned with safety. Now that's because sometimes people are apprehensive and worried that they might cause themselves an injury. They might think, oh, I'm not fit enough or whatever. One of the great things with dragon boating is any level of fitness, any age, what makes it so unique. So you just paddle to your own capability. Our goal on the boat is that your technique is what really matters. It's less to do about racing or anything like that. It's more to do with your technique, because good technique, you will enjoy the experience more, and you won't do yourself an injury. And that's the one thing that we will be working with. But it's not a thing about perfection. You know, we're not getting ready for the Olympics or anything like that. It's about getting out and enjoying it and feeling safe. And I think I would really stress that we are very keen on your safety. So there's always safety briefings before we start. People can take their paddle in if they feel they've had enough. So all of those things are really, really important. So if anybody is apprehensive about, am I fit enough? Will I fit in? You know, just come forward and we'll help you after that. That's what I would say. And we'll try and find a buddy that we think would match with yourself, perhaps if they have a similar interest or whatever. But really anybody, because once you come down, I think what you find often is that we find with new people, they come down and in no time at all, they're chatting to everyone. So they've lost the body. You know, the body was just somebody who helped them, and then they're chatting to everybody and everybody's chatting to them. And that's what's so lovely about it. I think it's that, as you will know, that around the world there's been a lot of research done on dragon boating for breast cancer survivors, and we hope that one day we will add to that body of knowledge with all cancer survivors. And one of the things that's really powerful and comes out consistently across the research is the camaraderie, because they all describe this sense of they're all in the same boat. You know, in every sense of the word, they're all in the same boat. They've all experienced the same thing, and they're sitting side by side, and that's very powerful. They don't have to say anything because they understand exactly what the other person has done, has been through. Obviously, with our particular with Bourne Water Dragons, it's all cancers. So they may not know what the cancer the next person has, but once people are comfortable, they often like to share what they've had, but that's their choice. It's not something that's expected, and really for anybody who's concerned about their confidentiality or their private business, we will never be asking them questions. So they don't have to worry about that. We're not going to suddenly start asking them all kinds of things. And also that our aim is that it's a safe experience. That's really, really important. And for that reason, we always ask people to get the consent of their treating physician before they come down, because we are not qualified to assess whether or not it's safe for somebody to dragon boating or not. So and in some ways, we might actually use some of your work.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
Sorry.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Sorry, carry on. The safety,
Okay, so in fact, one important way in which we might use some of your work is for, you all right?
Yeah, I'll shut my door so Mark again.
You don't want to. Is the people that we're asking to decide whether it's safe for somebody to do it or not. If there's some aspect of some piece of your work that we can share with somebody who is going to be in that position, and they'll usually be either a GP or a hospital doctor or whoever it is that the person decides to go and see. So yes, so I think that your work will be extremely valuable. I think once we have it, we won't be able to stop using it.
Yes, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something we've been missing. So we are absolutely delighted that, you know, academically we're extremely delighted to support you, but you are also helping us enormously. And I think sometimes when you're doing academic work, it's nice to think that it's not just an academic exercise, that it's actually going to be useful.
We had so many charities to choose from as well. So we generally wanted to help you guys. We weren't like given the Bourne Water Dragons, that we had so many to choose from. So
oh, wonderful. And in a way, and it is a great shame we're not on the water, because one of the things we would have liked is you come down with us and actually to come out. Yeah, and that would have been really helpful as well, because you would have felt it, you know, you'd get a feeling for what it's like.
Yeah. But I know you mentioned earlier a lot about the safety and the physical side, which is obviously great for anyone recovering and everything. But what would you say the mental health benefits are? And do you think maybe from like I know there's a lot of psychological research that says a water sport is a lot better than like makes you feel very zen and at ease and things. So do you think the water has a big effect on the mental health?
Yes, it's very interesting. I did some research myself on women's experience of dragon boating, and that was one of the things that actually came up, is that the power of the water and being out on the water and how it made them feel so much better, and being in nature and seeing the birds and so on. And I think, but to go back specifically to dragon boating, the evidence from all of the studies is hugely consistent in that it contributes significantly to positively to people's mental health in so many different ways. It lifts their mood, it gives them more confidence, their self-esteem improves. It's just everything about their sense of who they are and what they are. And it redresses the negative impact of the cancer experience, which does exactly the opposite. And so it gives them, and in many ways, for some people, it takes them to a place that is better than it was before the cancer, almost. And that the whole experience of it, it's not just being out on the water, but they become part of the team. You know, they take on roles and responsibilities. They get an opportunity to help others. And that in itself is very powerful. But that was one of the, you know, as I say, it is a finding in all the studies. And you will recall, I don't know if you may have done this background work already, but when in the John Mackenzie, the doctor in Canada who set up the original Dragon Boat team for breast cancer survivors, just by accident that they became what they were. He was doing a study into the physical impact of whether or not dragon boating would impact on lymphedema, which is a condition that people get after they've had breast cancer treatment, or can get. And he found when the study was over and they had been through the 3 months of training, he wanted to disband them because he had done his work, he collected his data, and he was happy. But the women were going nowhere. They had become hooked on this. And he described how the impact on their mental health was even greater than on their physical well-being. And so from very, very beginning, it was the powerful impact of it on people's mental health has been well documented. Yeah. And I have observed it myself in over the years that I've been involved with dragon boating. I've seen people change, you know, their personalities almost change. They go from being quiet and quite withdrawn to being absolutely amazing people and able to blossom as the people that they are, rather than what cancer did to them. And that's really, and also family members will sometimes tell you how much they've noticed the change in their mom, as it was in the case when it was breast cancer, and how wonderful it is for them, because that impacts on the family. You know, if the mom or the dad, as it is feeling better and more positive about the whole cancer experience, then that filters down through to other family members as well. And also their employment. I mean, that's the other thing you have to remember. People function better in all aspects of their lives, whether it's within the home or outside the home. And so very, very powerful for something as simple as paddling a boat up and down the river, as it is for us in Stuart. No question that it is potentially very, very powerful. And it seems to be across the whole spectrum of ages that it has this very powerful benefit. And that yes, I would definitely say, no doubting that it has a huge impact on people's mental health and well-being.
Amazing. No, that's so good to hear, because I know the physical is obviously a big point in it, but the mental health, that's amazing. That's so great to hear. I know I heard you mention earlier that with the Bourne Water Dragons it was really great because everyone sort of had a role. So looking at that, what do you think makes the Bourne Water Dragons not just a group or a meetup and things, but a community? Like, what are the main factors that you think really makes it a community?
I think they all share the goal of, and in some way, if I was to stand back from it and think about it, they've all come together because of experienced cancer, and they've all come together to take part in the same activity. But it's more the sense of they're all helping each other, and they want to help other people. So to enjoy the experience with them. And I think it's that sense of, I think it's that what makes the community. They all understand where each other are coming from, even though they may be different cancers. And they all, because they enjoy it, they want others to enjoy it, and to, as I said, make it more available to other people. Let me just ask the question again, and I'll just rethink that answer.
So what are essentially the key factors of Bourne Water Dragons that really makes it a community rather than a group or a club? So what makes it a community?
I think to add to what I said about that they all share the same experience and they want to help each other. There is also what makes it a club, a community, is that we encourage them to decide its future, where it goes, what it does. And as I said at the beginning, I think that as trustees, we are really servants of the membership, because we want to be guided by them as to what Bourne Water Dragons becomes, and where it is and where it's going. And because that's how it should be. It is for their benefit, and they are the best people to decide what should and shouldn't happen. And all we will do as trustees is make sure that it conforms to the Constitution, and that we are operating within the rules and regulations of the Charity Commission. But apart from that, so that's why I feel it is a community, a sense of belonging. We hope and we think that people feel proud to be part of it. They want it to succeed. They want to be part of that success, and they want others to be part of it as well.
That's amazing. Thank you. That was a really amazing answer. So thank you so much for that. I think I just have one more question now, and it's quite a simple one. But if you had to describe the Bourne Water Dragons in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Can I text them? Can I send them to you by text or email when I have a moment to think? Because I think it's very interesting. I'd probably be kicking myself afterwards if I gave you 3 now and then. I should have said so and so. So if I send you those 3, is that okay, Dee?
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you for that. No, that'd be really useful. No, I put you on the spot a little bit there.
Yeah, no, I know it's very helpful thing to do, and I could think of some, but I might after think, oh no, I should have said so and so instead.
No, that's absolutely fine. Is there anything else you wanted to add, or any advice for myself and Emily, and things you'd want us to cover within this project, or anything you think I haven't mentioned?
I think you've covered everything very well. What I would strongly encourage you to do is please come back. Don't hesitate to come back if you suddenly think of something else, or if somebody raises something and you want to clarify, you want more information, because we'd be more than delighted. We want this to You're helping us enormously, and we want to help you in your academic studies and in your work. Going to be extremely helpful to us in Bourne Water Dragons.
Yeah.
So we thank you very much for thinking about us and choosing us.
Thank you.
But we also recognize that we have a responsibility to make sure that we give you what you need to do your project.
Thank you.
Okay, Dee, thank you so much.
Have an amazing evening, and if I don't speak to you before, have a really good Christmas.
And you too. Thanks. Good luck with everything. Take care. Bye-bye now, Dee. Bye.